Just leaving the house now. Clear in both directions and proceed carefully. Okay, today as all days I'll drive this car according to the system of car control, which is a system or drill, each feature of which is to be considered by me the driver at the approach to any hazard. To do this requires my utmost concentration, which is the full application of mind and body to a particular endeavour, to the complete exclusion of everything not relevant to that endeavour. My endeavour today is to drive this car safely, smoothly, progressively and well. I shall formulate my driving plan on three things: what I can see, what I cannot see and the circumstances I can reasonably expect to develop. By driving according to the system of car control, the car will at all times be travelling in the right place on the road at the right speed with the right gear engaged. As it is today, we're heading west on the A737. It's a single carriageway, undivided road. National speed limit applies. The road surface of Tar Macadam, it's been recently resurfaced in very good condition, but it's raining lightly, the road surface is wet, and that will affect braking performance on this surface. There's a staggered junction ahead just round this left-hand bend, first on the left, second on the right. I can see the one oncoming vehicle, and we're looking for the mouth. I've picked up the mouth of the junction on the right-hand side and searching up that road. It's checked and clear. I've picked up the one on the left. I can't see into it, so I'm positioning out from it. It's checked and clear. And as we look ahead on this long straight now, we can see that there's a number of oncoming vehicles. There's one preceding vehicle, and checking the mirrors, we're not being followed at this time. The entrance on the left checked and clear. There's a further building on the left, and again I'm looking for any movement associated with that. There's certainly a light on in front of the house, which does suggest that there are people around. Someone may be moving around at the side of the road. The roundabout ahead, I intend to turn right, although it's still the main road, so check mirror, offside mirror, position just left of the bike centre line. Checking all three mirrors, there's nothing close behind, so no requirement for a signal at this time. We're allowing the speed to come round. There seems to be a gap in the traffic. The speed's dropping from 50 down to less at the moment. The closest traffic behind, still about a mile away. I'll be gone by the time they get here. Still no need for a signal, no need for the horn warning, and we'll bring it through nice and smoothly. We're continuing round the roundabout. There's no one here who would benefit from a signal at this time. Checking mirror, near side mirror, no requirement for a breakaway signal, and we leave the roundabout under gentle acceleration. A number of vehicles coming down the road now. We're still on the A737. Howwood is 5 miles ahead. This is the Beath bypass. Speed restriction here is 50 miles per hour. Hazard lines in the centre of the road indicating that there are hazards ahead inherent in the basic road layout. I've picked up the edge of an advanced direction sign, which I can't see because it's obscured by foliage just up here. I can see a pedestrian walking down to the right hand side and a vehicle now emerging from the road junction on the right. Two vehicles in fact now. Checking the mirrors, we're not being followed. My speed just under 50. There's a crossroads and then a staggered junction, first on the right, second on the left. There's this vehicle coming out ahead. I'm covering the horn, but he's stopped where he is. There's a services vehicle of some sort on the left, another vehicle waiting to emerge as well. The road on the right is checked and clear, and we seem to be safe where we are. I'm intending to turn right just ahead here, so I'm checking my mirror, my offside mirror, positioning just left of the white centre line. I'm checking all three mirrors. I'm traffic gating right for the benefit of the vehicle which is catching up behind. Now there's a pedestrian who seems settled on the footpath to the left. Coming up to a crossroads here, I can see a vehicle emerging from the right. I'm expecting he'll go before we get there. Searching down to the left, that junction checked and clear. Searching across my own junction, there's no need for a further signal, there's no need for the horn warning, and we bring it through nice and smoothly. National speed limit road here now. I can see a pedestrian on the solitary footpath on the left. There's a warning sign indicating there's a school some distance ahead. It's about 9:30 in the morning, so I'm not anticipating school children. I would expect they'll already be in class by this time. The warning sign coming up ahead indicating a double bend, right then left, and road narrows from both sides as well as a collection of chevrons, so I expect it to be quite a tight bend. I can also see a conurbation of buildings further ahead. I'll expect we're coming into a village, and I'll anticipate a change in speed limit when we get closer to these buildings. There's an oncoming vehicle coming around the series of bends at the moment, and I've picked up the 30 signs, checking the speedometer. I'm doing 35, checking the mirrors. I'm not going to come down by deceleration alone, so I'm just coming gently onto the brakes, bringing the speed down to 30 as we enter the speed limit. Checking on the right there, all these houses are no activity going on there at the moment. There's a fairly sharp right hand bend as we come round here now. Park on the left, there's a lot of logs piled up on the right, but nothing strewn onto the road. A number of parked vehicles. We're checking the mirrors. It's safe to move out and overtake these vehicles, allowing room for doors to open in case there's anyone I haven't seen. Mirror near side mirror, returning to my own side of the road. Road junction right, searching into the mouth of that junction as we pass. We've got the national speed limit signs ahead, then a straight road. As we come up towards the national speed limit signs, we're checking we're not being followed. We're checking the offside mirror. We're not about to be overtaken, and just waiting until the front of the vehicle's passing the speed limit signs, and then we'll firm up on acceleration. I can see a warning sign further ahead that there's a fairly sharp bend to the left, and I can see the chevrons. The road surface is wet, so I'm not going to overcook it on this road surface. We've got one vehicle now catching up with us through the 30 mph speed limit behind. As we come round here, there's buildings on the left, there's vehicles on the left, there's always the possibility of something emerging. One oncoming vehicle, check offside mirror, and just holding out from that entrance on the left because of the restricted visibility. A lot of parked cars but nothing moving. There's a pedestrian on the other side of the road, not wearing any reflective clothing, but we have seen him in time, thankfully. Warning sign for a bend to the right, and road junction right as well, 100 yards ahead. Holding well to the left to enhance our cornering circle, searching into the mouth of that junction. It's checked and clear. We've got the one vehicle at about 100 metres behind at the moment. This is a fairly twisty road with quite a lot of bends. It's still national speed limit. The road surface is patchy, it's also wet and uneven. Chevrons on the road here, and we're just firming up on acceleration to bring the vehicle through nice and smoothly. We've got a warning sign indicating cattle and two warning signs for the bend. One reduced speed now, just coming off the power until we can see the bend opening up. There's shell grip on the bend here. Opening on the left is checked and clear, and as we come through here now, we're trying to extend our observations. We can see the road disappearing down a hill crest. We've got a warning sign for a bend to the right. There's some roadworks signs as well. We can look across the corner and see the road beyond the bend. There's nothing coming the other way. We've still got this one vehicle behind, just keeping off the accelerator at the moment, and then on slowly through the bend, just bringing it through nice and smoothly. Coming up here now, the road disappearing out of sight round the right hand bend, the warning sign just before it. Just coming off the accelerator again. We don't know what lies around that bend until we can see far enough ahead. And there's a chevron double line system, probably a more severe bend again, off the accelerator on the approach. As the blend opens up, just coming slightly on, warning of a hidden dip. There's a bucket out there on the left. It could be that it's rubbish collection day here. We might anticipate the rubbish motor being on its rounds somewhere further ahead. The sky's looking a bit brighter further ahead at this time. We've got the one vehicle behind us now on his dipped headlamps. He's still remaining about 50 metres behind us at the present time. There's reduced speeds now. That road surface looks very, very polished. I'm not going to go into that too quickly. Just coming through with the car balanced on the throttle but not using too much power to kick the back end out. As we come through here now, out the bend, we can firm up slightly, off the accelerator again on the approach to this bend, back on just to bring the vehicle through under gentle acceleration without overcooking it. Coming up here now, we can see one oncoming vehicle. The road's twisting left then right and disappearing round the bend. There's a warning sign for that latter right hand bend, just leaving plenty of room for the oncoming vehicles. Keeping an eye on the vehicle behind. Speed's approximately 50 mph at the moment. Given the nature of the road and its surface conditions, I don't really want to push it any harder on this particular stretch of road. Chevrons and the reduced speed now, just coming gently onto the brakes, not taking the guy behind by surprise. Off again. There's a bit of shell grip, a fairly severe bend with more chevrons, and we bring it through, just balancing the throttle to keep the car stable as we come through here. Roads disappearing out of sight now. There's an oncoming vehicle come from the right. We're looking across to the right. We can see the general line of the road by the hedgerows in front. Not always 100% reliable, but it does give us an indication, and I can see tarmac through the trees to the right. There's a road junction left. I'm going straight on, don't need to take any action for that at this time. Checking the mirror, the one car is still following a safe distance behind. The road to Paisley, the 775, is off to the left. We've searched well up that road, there's nothing there. Coming over a hill crest, we don't know what lies over the hill crest, so we're keeping the speed down until we can see further ahead. Reduce speed now in bends again. We can see the road bending to the right, trying to look through the trees and see an indication of what lies further ahead on the road. A further warning sign for a bend to the right. Again, we've picked up the line of the bend. Searching across the field, we can see that there's no oncoming traffic at the present time, just keeping the car balanced on the throttle as we come through these bends. There's little advantage in adopting extended cornering positions on this particular road because there's not really that much of a width of road to play with. As we come round here now, the road's disappearing out of sight round the left hand bend. Again, we're keeping the speed down. We can see that there's premises on the right. There's a lorry making deliveries in there. We've picked up the 40 size. We're checking the mirrors, just coming through here under gentle acceleration. We are right for the benefit of the vehicle behind, keeping the speed down, bringing speed down, searching up that road on the right, it's checked and clear, there's no oncoming traffic, no need for the horn warning, bringing it through under gentle acceleration. Got an HGV coming down here now on his own side of the road, not causing us any difficulties whatsoever. Complying with the 30 mph speed limit, which is still in force here at the moment. Various entrances right and left. We're going under a railway bridge and checking out each of these entrances as and when we pass them. The road's disappearing uphill and round to the right. We've got a premises, dwelling house on the left, national speed limit signs ahead, and then a chevron further on than that. Fairly patchy and uneven road surface at this time. Checking the mirrors, we're not about to be overtaken, and just firming up gently on the acceleration, keeping an eye on that opening on the left, positioning to left, leaving plenty of room for the heavy as he comes down the other way. And as we come up here now, just firming up gently on the acceleration without overcooking it until we reach a reasonable speed for the conditions. Now we're trying to extend our observations. The road's disappearing uphill and round a left-hand bend over the horizon. Can't really see very much beyond that. We're surrounded by agricultural land. There's various entrances, lay-bys, etc. to either side of the road. We can anticipate that there will be farm machinery working out on the roads at this time, possibly even cows being taken to be milked. We can see something with a tarpaulin flapping some distance ahead, a couple of vehicles preceding us on the same road. The road surface constantly changing. There's various patches of different surface material. I've searched up the road to the left there, it's checked and clear, and as we come round here I see the warning sign indicating a double bend right then left, and there's the chevrons for the first part of it. Checking the mirrors, coming off the accelerator, bringing the speed down. We're looking for the bend opening out. We're just coming onto the brakes until that bend opens out. Now the bend's opening out, we've got the view through it, back onto the accelerator, and we're looking further ahead now. We've picked up a further warning sign indicating another double bend, which appears to be crossing the railway line. We've got one preceding vehicle. Checking the mirrors, speed's 55, we're just on the trailing throttle, we need to bring it down a bit more. Checking the mirrors, onto the brakes, speed's coming down. The entrance on the left is checked and clear, off the brakes, onto the throttle and through the bends. Further set of chevrons further beyond this bend here, and we're looking to see where the road's going. The position and speed of the car in front is some indication as to the severity of the bends ahead, and we're going to maintain a safe distance behind him such that should he suddenly stop, we could stop without running into the back of him. Checking the mirrors, we're not being followed at this time. Slows on the road, the bend to the right, we can see a heavy coming in the opposite direction further ahead through the trees, vehicle with a white cab, fairly large tipper lorry by the looks of it, and a number of private cars following behind that. Hopefully they'll not be too hasty in trying to pull out for an overtake. Looking beyond that bend, we can see other traffic coming down the hill in the opposite direction. It's a fairly sharp bend. The road surface is still very patchy and uneven. It's quite a poor road surface here. Trying to extend my observations up the hill. We're going over a small bridge here. Reduce speed now. There's 300 metres to the 30 mph speed limit for the village of Dunlop, which we're about to come into. Now down to 100 metres. We've picked up the roundels for the start of the speed limit. We're checking the mirror. Our speed's 35. Just slight adjustment of the accelerator will bring it down to arrive at the signs at the speed of 30 mph. A lot of parked vehicles on both sides. There's pavements on both sides. We're watching out for pedestrians. There's a skip lying on the left hand side but no movement near it at this time. We are on a bus route, so there's a possibility of pedestrians coming looking to catch their bus. We're also expecting the possibility that the bus in fact may be ahead of us on his route, or indeed there may be one coming the other way. Searching into the various openings left and right, nothing happening there at the moment. We've got a right turn at this roundabout. Checking the mirror, the offside mirror positioning just left of the white centre line. We're checking all three mirrors and we're bringing the speed right down. There's no visibility into the last moment. There's still no need for a signal, there's no need for the horn warning, and negotiating the roundabout nice and smoothly. Bring it through here now. There's various vehicles parked on the right. We're looking in the side of the van for reflections of any oncoming headlamps. There's nothing presently visible. There's one vehicle going the other way. This guy's got his lights on. He's going to open his door. We're giving him plenty of room. We've got the pedestrian crossing the road in front of us, but he's gone safely now by the time we've got there. The openings left and right are both checked and clear. We can see that the road's disappearing round to the left. It's a fairly sharp left turn. There's one parked vehicle on the other side. Again, I would expect to see the reflections of headlamps of oncoming vehicles, if indeed they're using their headlamps, in the side of that van. There's a vehicle stopped on the right. There's plenty of room to pass safely. There's nobody moving around outside it. One man in the back. Coming under a railway bridge, we've got an opening on the right, an opening on the left. Height restriction on this, it's a shell grip road surface again, quite a severe bend. And as we climb the hill here, the road's disappearing out of sight round to the left beyond the oncoming vehicle. Double line system in operation in the centre of the road at this time. We've got one vehicle following us some distance behind. As we come up here now, we've left the 30 mph speed limit, I think. didn't actually notice the national speed limit signs, but I'm pretty certain we're out of it now, and that's a failure on my part. And as we come up here now, oncoming traffic, one vehicle following us some distance behind, and we are following the line of the road, which is substantially straight ahead. We've got an oncoming vehicle turning right across our path, another vehicle coming out from the right, so we've got junctions to both sides. We're trying to search into the mouth of that junction on the left. It seems to be checked and clear, and we're looking further ahead to the right here, and the opening there is now checked and clear. We've got one vehicle about 200 metres behind us, seems to be following at a safe distance and not approaching too closely on us. Oncoming traffic. In the far distance we can see the hills on the horizon. In the middle distance, agricultural land as far as the eye can see. In the nearer foreground we've got a warning sign for a double bend, right then left. We can see premises round the bend to the right, and there's also an entrance on the left. Checking the mirror, we're coming onto the brakes, we're slowing the car down until we can see that bend opening out. The limit points are opening out, we're back on the accelerator and just bringing it through nice and smoothly. There's a couple of oncoming vehicles beyond the left hand part of the double bend. We can see that there's a private car and a small commercial vehicle. As we come around here, the one vehicle behind us still remaining at a safe distance behind us, and we're not catching up with the vehicle in front. Road width is fairly restricted here. One oncoming vehicle, one following vehicle, one preceding vehicle, keeping to the left of the white centre line all the way around here. Speed's currently 45 miles per hour. We've picked up the warning sign for the double bend, left then right. We can see the line of the bend from the van away in the front. We've picked up the chevrons, and in fact we can then see countdown markers on all the buildings of the village of Stewarton, which we are coming into. We're checking the mirrors, we're adjusting our speed, bringing the speed down on the brakes very slightly. The limit points are opening out, back onto the accelerator and bringing it through nice and smoothly. As we come down here now, we've got 200 and 100 metre markers. We've picked up the roundels for the 30 signs. We're checking the mirror, we're checking the speedometer, 38. Just coming gently onto the brakes, since it's not going to come down by acceleration sense on a downhill gradient like this. Just feathering the brakes, keeping the speed at 30 as we come down here. The vehicle behind has settled to a safe distance behind. There's a green traffic light which may well change before we get there. The opening on the right is checked and clear. The lights have changed. We're just coming onto the brakes. The lights have gone back to green. Checking offside mirror. Because of the road restriction, I'm positioning the car out to the right to get the left turn through this narrow restricted passage under the bridge. We come back round here, there's oncoming traffic waiting at the opposite traffic lights. There's a railway station car park on the right, nothing moving out of it. One oncoming vehicle, vehicles emerging from the left, an immediate junction on the left checked and clear. Various premises on the right with entrances. Again, there's two vehicles waiting to cross the road in front of us, one pedestrian settled on the footpath to the left just beyond the garage, and vehicles pulling out. Vehicle in front stopping as a courtesy to allow the vehicle to cross in front of him, and a vehicle emerging from premises on the right. We're watching the lady on the left who may wish to cross the road. Vehicle also trafficating right, waiting to cross our path, but we'll just continue slowly through here. The traffic lights are still green. We're checking the mirrors. No need for a signal, no need for a horn warning. Bring it through nice and smoothly. Come through here now, there's humps for 250 yards, a speed reduction measure. The speed limit's 30 miles per hour. We're doing approximately 25 at the moment. The car will cope with these quite happily, no problem at all. There's an oncoming vehicle, a pedestrian on the right hand side, but it's settled on the footpath. It shouldn't be a problem for us. The opening on the right is checked and clear. As we come down here, we're going over another hump, just letting the near side wheels avoid the hump as we go across it. Vehicles parked on the pavement on the right hand side, junctions right and left checked and clear, an opening on the left immediately, and then we're taking the second turning to the left. We're checking the mirrors, we're not being followed. Checking the mirrors, there's a vehicle just coming to sight. We're trafficating left for his benefit now. Speed's coming down, the gear is 2. No need for a further signal, no need for the horn warning. Vehicles parked on the left hand side as we climb this hill, just taking a course to pass them safely. Holding out to the right just now to extend my view further up the hill, ready to sacrifice if a vehicle should appear in the opposite direction. Various entrances to premises, right and left, searching into the mouths of each of these openings as and when we come level with them. And as we come up round here to the right now, we can see a number of vehicles descending the hill in the opposite direction, at least two transit-sized vans and a smaller vehicle behind them. There's an entrance on the right. We're leaving the 30 mile per hour speed restricted area and now into NSL. As we come round here, roads twisting both directions, and we can see it's climbing a hill. There's a warning sign further up which we'll read on the approach. One oncoming vehicle, double bend, right then left. Various premises on the right, so we can anticipate that there will be an entrance of some description up here. We're not being followed at this time. Speed's presently 40 miles per hour. There's the entrance, it's checked and clear. Further premises on the right, again looking for any associated movement with these premises. There's nothing coming or going there. There's an oncoming van, and we've got a warning, reduce speed now, quite a restricted road. There's mud on the road, so we could anticipate there's possibly industrial or agricultural traffic on the move somewhere near here. There's an entrance on the left, that's checked and clear. We can see right across that bend, the view's clear, and we can proceed round the bend in safety. We've got an oncoming vehicle. We've got a warning sign indicating a left-hand bend with a junction to the right in the middle of the bend. Just bringing the speed down, the chevrons indicate that it's actually a very sharp 90-degree bend. We're off the brakes, onto the accelerator, and bringing it up nice and smoothly out of this bend. As we come up here now, we've got a warning sign indicating a bend to the right. There's an opening on the left. I was trying to search up there. There's nothing happening in that junction on the left either. We can see the one preceding vehicle, which we're very gradually catching up with. There's an HGV coming in the opposite direction. A number of warning signs indicating farm machinery, cattle, and there's a bend to the right with slows on the road. As we come out over here now, again, the visibility is fairly restricted. We can see for a few hundred yards in any direction without very much visibility beyond that at the present time. The farm premises on the right, there's nothing happening there. There's one fairly progressive vehicle coming the opposite direction. He's settled where he is and not presenting any danger to us at the present time. As we come up here now, we're catching up with this vehicle. We're just going to have to adopt a safe position, holding back behind him at the meantime, unless the opportunity for an overtake presents itself further ahead. Checking the mirrors. We're not being followed at this time. The speed's approximately 45 miles per hour. The road surface is still fairly wet, but it is actually a slightly better and more even road surface than we had further back. Looks like it's been resurfaced comparatively recently. The road's disappearing out of sight down to the left here. We're checking the mirrors. We're not being followed. Just feathering the brakes very slightly, keeping a safe distance from that vehicle in front, as we're tending to catch up with him at the present time. The opening on the right is checked and clear. There's a warning sign for a bend to the left. Further bend to the left. There's a lot of vehicles in there on the right. I can see across the bend there's a lot of traffic coming in the opposite direction, keeping well to the left, in fact just as well, because there's a heavy coming the other way and there's another heavy after that. Opening on the left is checked and clear. There's a warning sign indicating a bend to the right. We're catching up slightly again with this smaller car in front. We're checking the mirrors. We are not being followed at the present time, but there is still quite a lot of traffic coming in the opposite direction. Speed's presently 50 miles per hour. There's only 10 miles an hour legal margin for an overtake here, so probably not worth the attempt, even if the road ahead did turn out to be clear, which it currently is. But then again, the road's disappearing over a dip, and I can now see the roof of an oncoming vehicle, so we'll just remain here at the moment. We're coming to a junction. We can see the main road with traffic crossing in the middle distance. Slightly beyond that, we can see all the buildings of another village, which I know from local knowledge to be the village of Fenwick. There's an opening on the left, that one's checked and clear. And as we come down here, we can see another heavy coming slowly up the hill, not using any lights, so not quite so easy to see, but there's a cluster of warning signs indicating a bend to the right, reduce speed now, advisory speed limit of 30 miles per hour for this bend. Searching into that opening on the left, it's checked and clear. And as we come round here, just under gentle acceleration, we're trying to extend. We can see a roundabout further ahead, and there's premises on the right immediately before. But I intend to turn left at that roundabout. The opening before the roundabout on the left is checked and clear. Check mirror, check near side mirror. No requirement for a signal at this time. Checking all three mirrors. Still no need for a signal. We're bringing the speed down. Gauge 2. There's no need for a signal. There's no need for a horn warning. And we bring it through under gentle acceleration. We're now coming onto an NSL road. It's nice and clear. Mirror, offside mirror. We're not about to be overtaken. Firming up on acceleration and bringing the vehicle up towards the national speed limit of 60 miles per hour, which is in force on this road. We've got one oncoming vehicle, one preceding vehicle. Road surface of Tara Macadam in very good condition. It's still wet. It's not ideal for emergency braking. It also probably would be a slightly skid-prone surface for emergency evasive manoeuvres. A roundabout ahead, I intend to take the first exit, which is off at 12 o'clock. So no requirement for a signal. Checking the mirror, the near side mirror, the course towards the better part of the near side. Checking all three mirrors. We're starting to bring the speed down. There's no oncoming traffic coming round the roundabout. There's no worry about a gap. There's still no need for a signal. There's no need for a horn warning, and firming up on acceleration to bring us clearly out of the roundabout. Warning sign indicating a road junction left just ahead. We're trying to locate the mouth of that junction. I've picked up the marker posts on the left and a road sign. Searching into the mouth of that junction, there's one vehicle waiting to turn across our path. In fact, it's going to be gone before we get there. And then the road's opening out further ahead. We're checking the mirror, the offside mirror. We're not being followed. We're not about to be overtaken. And firming up acceleration to bring the vehicle up to a cruising speed of 60 miles per hour. Cycle lane off to the left. Cyclists ought to be using that lane. However, I know from local knowledge that they frequently do cycle on the main carriageway. There's a vehicle stopped astride the cycleway. However, there would still be plenty of room for a cyclist to pass there. Don't know why the vehicle's there, we don't know if there's anyone about. We're keeping well clear of that vehicle just in case someone should open the door or should suddenly move off. There is in fact a driver sitting in the vehicle, possibly making a phone call, who knows. Coming up here now, we've got a road junction right. We can see up the mouth of that junction, the van disappearing away off to our right. There's nothing coming out. There's a bus coming in the opposite direction. Postman Pat off to the left there in the private houses, and a number of other vehicles. The warning sign indicating a return to two-way traffic from the two separate carriageways which were separated by a hatched area. We can see the road extending straight ahead for quite some distance. The speed limit still 60 miles per hour. The M77 motorway is running parallel on the right hand side. As we come up here now, there's an entrance to the right. There's various minor farm entrances at various points along the road. We're keeping an eye on any of these external entrances at the moment. The visibility ranges for a couple of miles. We can see the horizon with trees on it, agricultural land surrounding this road on both sides, and we've got the M77 which is going to cross over just a short distance ahead. We're going to go a bridge underneath the 77. As we come up here now, the road is deviating round to the right, the one oncoming vehicle in view, and we'll see the advanced direction signpost indicating a roundabout just ahead. I intend to go straight ahead at that roundabout, so my course is going to be towards the better part of the near side. No great advantage in cornering position. We've picked up a heavy coming in the opposite direction. We're checking the mirror, checking the offside mirror. We're not being followed, starting to adjust the speed. We're letting the speed come down. The oncoming HGV is not trafficating right. We're just waiting to see for certain that he's not going to affect us. We're coming to a halt just to see where he's going. There's no breakaway signal from him, but he is in fact going off. Doesn't affect our route. Checking mirror, checking offside mirror. We're not being followed. Checking near side mirror. There's no requirement for a breakaway signal, and we bring it through nice and smoothly. Coming up here now, I know there's the exit on the left from the motorway. There's nothing coming down there at the present time, and the Eaglesham Road is off to the right. There's one vehicle appeared in the horizon behind. He's still about half a mile behind me at the present time. I intend to turn right. Checking mirror, offside mirror. No requirement for a signal at this time. Starting to adjust the speed. Speed's coming down. There is a refuge for right turning traffic. Checking offside mirror. Taking that course. A vehicle now appearing out of the mouth of the junction, so trafficating out of sequence for his benefit. Starting to adjust the speed to one at which we can negotiate the corner. There's no need for a further signal, there's no need for the horn warning, and we're bringing it through nice and smoothly. We're now on the Eaglesham Moor Road. We've got pedestrians off to the left. There was a warning sign, children playing. It's obviously a nursery. We're just keeping an eye in that area in case any small children have escaped. There's no one up near the road at this time, so check mirror, offside mirror. Now we can firm up the acceleration. Hazard lines on the road as it disappears out of sight over the crest of the hill. There's a warning sign just over the crest of the hill. It appears to be for a junction of some description. We're just doing slightly less than 60 miles per hour. The road surface is slightly patchy, it's still slightly damp, and we've picked up the buildings down to the left, the mouth of the road on the left. We're just keeping an eye there, nothing approaching from that direction, and the road sweeping round a long right hand bend. The road surface is fairly warm, it's patchy, it's tar macadam. There's various different stretches of different road surfaces. There's a warning sign indicating a double bend left then right, and we've got premises off to the right further ahead. Checking the mirrors, we're not being followed at this time. We've got a warning sign further round indicating a bend to the right with an advisory speed limit of 30 miles per hour, so we can expect it to be a fairly sharp bend. Also a warning that the road's narrowing from both sides. Because of the poor road surface conditions, we're not overcooking the bend, we're just keeping it fairly sensible till we come round here. There's hazard lines in the centre of the road. We've got forestry to either side of the road, so there's not much visibility off the road to either side. There are no entrances just at this moment, but we can see the road extending straight ahead for excess of a mile. There's a warning sign, an unspecified hazard on the left here, blind summit in fact, and as we come down here we're anticipating there might be something stopped in the road in front of us, but in fact there's one slow moving vehicle further ahead, various warning signs for no overtaking, site entrance on the right, and we're searching up the mouth of that junction on the right, and it's nothing there. We've got a number of vehicles parked on the left. This section of the road is a single track road with a cycle lane to either side. I'm positioning the left hand side of my car just to the right of the left hand cycle lane marking, being ready to sacrifice my position should any oncoming traffic appear, or should the view beyond any distance not extend. As we come up here, we can see that the road's disappearing over a hill crest. There are no cyclists in sight, so mirror, near side mirror, and positioning the car over into the cycle lane just in case anything fast should appear in the opposite direction. There's a warning sign indicating that there is a bend to the right, there is one oncoming vehicle, there are still no cyclists in evidence, and we've got one vehicle stopped in a lay-by off to the left. The road is extending over the hill crest again out of sight. We can see it further ahead now, disappearing over the horizon for some distance. There's a warning sign indicating a road junction right. We've got a clear view of the road, there's nothing following, so we're moving back out of the cycle lane into the main part of the carriageway, and just having regard to the possibility of any cyclists, pedestrians or oncoming traffic, and being ready to sacrifice our road position should anything appear in either direction. If following traffic were to catch up and wants to overtake, again we can sacrifice our road position and allow them to pass safely to our right. We come up here, the view is restricted, so mirror, near side mirror, and returning towards the better part of the near side within the confines of the cycle lane. We really can't see very far ahead, so we're coming off the throttle here, allowing the ability to stop within the distance we can see to be clear. Now the view, we're coming over the hill crest, the view's extending further ahead. In the far distance we can see some large buildings on the horizon, probably East Kilbride. In the middle distance we can see agricultural land surrounding the road, and in the nearer foreground there's a farmhouse or such down to the right hand side. We're checking the mirror, the offside mirror, we're not being followed. Again we're coming back out of the cycle lane and positioning the car pretty much in the centre of the road, having regard to the possibility of anything coming in the opposite direction. I think we're picking up something on the left further ahead. I can't see yet whether there's actually a pedestrian there. No, it's something lying in the lay-by, in fact, or some cones and other things to the left. There's an oncoming vehicle, mirror, near side mirror, just positioning to the left, and once past the cones, right back into the cycle lane. Coming along here now, the road's disappearing over a hill crest. It's going round to the right and down out of sight. We don't really have much visibility beyond that. We can see the passing place sign giving an approximate line of the road further ahead. There's a lay-by on the left, but because of the restricted visibility I am holding my position fairly well to the left and right into the cycle lane at the present time. The visibility of the horizon is 15-20 miles. We can see in the nearer foreground there's a loch of some sort just ahead of us. There's an opening on the right just before the bend to the left. We can see one oncoming vehicle over the crest of the hill, and the road's disappearing down to the left. One preceding vehicle as well, we're catching up with him. The speed's currently 55 miles per hour. We're not being followed at this time as the one oncoming vehicle. There's entrances on the right for access to the reservoirs or locks or whatever they are. The road's disappearing over a hill crest. We're just allowing the speed to come off on the trailing throttle, keeping an eye on the vehicle in front of us. Premises on the left, and again we're searching up that access road there. There's nothing about to emerge from there. We can see the road for a couple of 100 yards ahead, and then it's disappearing out of sight downhill. We've now picked up the 300 metre countdown markers for a 30 mile per hour speed limit. Again, there's a premises of some sort on the right hand side. We'll anticipate there will be an entrance for that, and the road's disappearing out of sight round to the right. I know there's a 30 mile per hour speed limit about to come in. We're not being followed. The speed's currently 45. We're coming onto the brakes and gently bringing it down on the brakes, checking out the junctions left and right as we arrive at the speed limit signs at the speed of 30 miles per hour. I intend to turn right on this roundabout, so I'm checking mirror, offside mirror, positioning the car just left of the white centre line. We're checking all three mirrors. There's no requirement for a signal at this time, and we're bringing the speed right down. Traffic eating out of sequence for the learner vehicle which has appeared. There's no need for a further signal. There's no need for the horn warning. Bringing it through nice and smoothly, giving a breakaway signal for the benefit of the learner and the HGV which has appeared in the opposite direction. The road's continuing downhill here for some distance. We can see that there's openings on the right. There's a vehicle parked on the right hand side, further vehicles parked on the right hand side. The gradient of the hill is increasing, and in fact we can see there's an HGV just pulling away from the left. We're on the brakes just now, allowing him room to get across the road and leave us clear passageway down the hill. The car is going to run away slightly down this hill, so we're selecting third gear manually and bringing the foot off the brake again just to see the car does need third gear plus very light touch on the brakes just to maintain the speed of 30 miles per hour down this hill. You can see the traffic lights ahead now. There's vehicles parked on both sides of the road. We're trying to equalise the danger between both sides of the road, the danger of pedestrians stepping out from behind any parked cars they might be concealed behind, or of doors opening, or vehicles in fact suddenly starting up and moving off without warning. The traffic lights have been green for some time, we're now changing. We're checking the mirror. There's the one vehicle, the learner vehicle, well behind. He's not catching up. We are bringing the vehicle downhill on the brakes, coming to a stop in compliance with the red traffic signal. Once we're stopped, we're applying the handbrake firmly, checking that it's holding against the effort of the car in gear, which it is, and waiting for the traffic lights. We can see a pedestrian waiting to cross the road at the other side of the lights. We can also use this opportunity to check the instruments. The temperature, oil pressure is good, plenty of fuel for the journey, and no warning lights showing save for the handbrake applied light at the present time. The green man for the pedestrian phase of the traffic signals is now active, and I anticipate that once the green man goes out, we'll get the green light to proceed. But the learner school car is now drawing slowly to a halt behind us. He's trafficating left. We're checking all three mirrors, releasing the handbrake, firming up on the accelerator and allowing the vehicle to go across while we check that no one's running the red lights in the opposite directions. As we come down here now, there's a warning sign indicating that there's a school in the vicinity. There's a pedestrian on the left walking on the grass, oncoming traffic. Our speed's currently 27 miles per hour as we just come past that digital sign. We can see a double line system in effect further ahead. We're still within the 30 mile per hour speed restricted zone, and the pedestrian is settled where he is on the left hand side. Various entrances to the left and the right can be checked as we approach them. Checking the mirrors, we're not being followed at this time. We're still maintaining a speed of 30 miles per hour, and we've picked up the national speed limit signs hidden amongst the foliage just on the hill crest. Checking out that entrance on the right, it's checked and clear. There's another entrance on the left, it's checked and clear. And as the visibility extends, we've got a vehicle parked on the left. We're firming up on acceleration and keeping a safe distance from that vehicle again should anything move in that direction. Now extending our observations further ahead, we can see buildings further ahead. In the far distance, we can see the road in the middle distance extending directly ahead of us with vehicles climbing the hill up ahead, and we've got in the nearer foreground we've got a warning sign of some description and premises on the left. Checking the mirror, the offside mirror, positioning out from that restricted view on the left. The road's deviating left then right, checking the near side mirror and just following the line of the road round here. The speed's now built back up to 60 miles per hour. As we come up this hill, we can see that there's a double line system in operation towards the hill crest with the solid line closest to us. There's a warning sign indicating a road junction left, so we're checking the mirrors, we're starting to adjust the speed, we're allowing the speed to come down slightly, searching into the left there, looking for any traffic emerging from the left. It's checked and clear, and now we've got a conurbation ahead. We've got 40 mile per hour speed limit, we've got a vehicle stop with hazard lights, we've got oncoming traffic, and we've got something approaching the road junction right, which is about to emerge from that junction. Is he going to turn ahead of us? Is he going to turn the opposite direction? Is he going to wait? He seems to be settled where he is. We're checking the mirror, we're checking the offside mirror, we're not giving our confusing trafficator signal to indicate that we might be turning right. We're watching that driver, he has seen us, and we're coming through nice and smoothly. As we come along here, the speed restriction is 40 miles per hour. There's one oncoming vehicle. There's a lot of premises left and right. It's inappropriate to actually do 40 miles per hour because of all the hazards surrounding us at this time, and we're just keeping the speed down until we can see the road clear out a little bit ahead. Now we're firming up towards 40 miles per hour. I've picked up a mini roundabout ahead, and I intend to go straight ahead at that roundabout. I'm checking my mirror, I'm checking all three mirrors. My course is fine where it is, just in the centre of this lane. We're starting to allow the speed to come down. We're looking for a gap in traffic on the roundabout. We can't really see anything approaching from the right. The road is clear. We're checking all three mirrors. There's still no need for a signal. There's no need for a horn warning, and we're straightening out this roundabout since there are no lane markings throughout it. As we come up here, there's a further roundabout, and we intend to take the exit, which is approximately 1 o'clock, so that can be treated as a right turn. Checking mirror, checking offside mirror, course left of the white centre line. We're starting to bring the speed down. There is traffic coming down the hill. I'm trafficating right for their benefit to let them know where I'm going. The speed's coming right down till I see that they're definitely going off. They are going off. There's no need for a further signal. There's no need for the horn warning. And we're bringing it through mirror, near side mirror, and breakaway signal for the benefit of the vehicle approaching the roundabout in the opposite direction. As we now come up here, we've got pedestrians settled on the footpath to the left. We're still leaving him plenty of room just in case he should stumble or fall off. I intend going straight ahead, and there's a lane designated for straight ahead which I'll be following. As we come up here, we're looking for the gap in the traffic to the roundabout. The gap's there. There's no need for a further signal, there's no need for a horn warning, then breakaway signal for the benefit of the traffic crossing the roundabout in the opposite direction. Of course, to the near side for the next roundabout, checking mirror, near side mirror, we're on course. Checking the mirrors, there's no requirement for a signal at this time. The speed's right. Now we're giving a breakaway signal for the benefit of the vehicles which have just come into sight in the opposite direction. We are on a bus route. Again, there's a possibility of pedestrians having alighted from the bus further ahead. Pedestrians settled on the footpath to the right where they are. Again, we can see yet another roundabout. East Kilbride has a great many roundabouts. We're keeping to the speed of 30 miles per hour. Pedestrian walking on the right, and traffic approaching from various directions. No requirement for a signal to go straight ahead at the roundabout. There's a vehicle trafficating right across our path, and we're giving priority to him. We're checking all three mirrors. There's no need for a further signal, there's no need for a horn warning, and it's safe to proceed. Mirror, near side mirror, breakaway signal for the benefit of the traffic joining the roundabout at our exit. As we come down here now, there's a lot of lampposts. We've picked up the bus which appears to have just moved off from a bus stop, looking for any pedestrians who may have alighted and wish to cross the road. There are pedestrians standing there, but none look ready to cross the road. I intend to turn right at the next roundabout, of course just left of the white centre line. Speed's coming down, there's no requirement for a signal at this time. We're looking for the gap in the traffic. The gap's there. We're off the brakes, bringing it through nice and gently onto the acceleration to leave, and there's no requirement for a breakaway signal, but we have picked up a bus, stopped at the bus stop, and he's right on a pedestrian crossing. Checking the mirrors, giving a horn warning in case anyone's trying to cross here. He should not be stopped on a crossing, proceeding very cautiously past that one. And as we come round here now, there's another roundabout. We're looking to the right, there's no traffic appearing from the right, and as soon as we pass the exit prior to ours, we're giving a breakaway signal for the benefit of the ambulance coming in the opposite direction. There's warning signs and traffic lights for a set of roadworks with the red light in operation at the present time, and we're just coming up to a halt behind the vehicle in front. One vehicle behind as well. Now the traffic lights are changing to green. We're checking the mirrors. We do have a vehicle behind, coming onto the accelerator again and just bringing the vehicle slowly and smoothly into motion. As we come down here, we're trying to avoid the worst parts of the road surface. There are some broken parts. The road surface is variable in quality. This part is quite polished and would not be good for emergency braking. The speed's currently 30 miles per hour, and there's a queue of oncoming traffic waiting to proceed in the opposite direction. Opening on the right is checked and clear. We've got an advanced direction signboard indicating a roundabout ahead. Checking the mirrors, we are being followed, but the following traffic is a safe distance behind, and we're still not in sight of the roundabout itself, although the cluster of lampposts does give an indication of its location, as well as the fact this vehicle is going off to the right and approaching from the left. We're checking the mirrors, we're starting to adjust the speed. The speed's coming down. There's a vehicle approaching from the right. He's trafficating left, shouldn't present any problem to us. Another vehicle trafficating left, safe for us to proceed. Mirror, near side mirror, breakaway signal for the benefit of the vehicle coming in the opposite direction. Crossing is checked and clear, and as we come down here, I intend to turn right. So mirror, offside mirror, position the car just left of the white centre line. Checking all three mirrors, trafficating right for the benefit of the vehicle some distance behind. Bringing the speed down, we're looking for the gap in the traffic. The gap is after the Ford Escort, which is gone. No need for a further signal, no need for a horn warning. As we come through here, checking the mirror, the near side mirror, and the breakaway signal for the benefit of the following traffic, as well as traffic joining. We're now on a dual carriageway. The speed limit here is 50 miles per hour. Checking mirror, offside mirror, and bringing this vehicle out into a position that we can see past the lorry, and then firming up on acceleration, bringing the vehicle up to the maximum permitted speed of 50 miles per hour on this particular road. As we come past here now, we're checking mirror, near side mirror, and moving back over. There's a 50 mile per hour reminder roundel on the lamppost to the left, confirming my recollection that that was the limit on this particular road. As we come up here, there's a further roundabout. I do intend to go straight ahead at that roundabout. Both lanes are suitable for going straight ahead. There's a vehicle in front starting to brake very early. I'm checking the offside mirror. It's clear for me to move out, and I should be able to get further up the queue since there's only one vehicle ahead in my lane and about three in the left hand lane to proceed straight ahead through the roundabout. As we come up here now, I do intend to go straight ahead. Both lanes are suitable. We're checking all three mirrors. There's no requirement for a signal at this time. We're starting to adjust our speed. We're looking for the gap in the traffic on this roundabout. There is traffic approaching from the right. I'll have to confirm where they're actually going. One's crossing our path. Now there's a gap. Checking all three mirrors. There's still no need for a signal. There's no need for a horn warning. And bringing it through nice and gently. Mirror, near side mirror, and giving a breakaway signal for the benefit of the vehicle behind in the left hand lane. and leaving the roundabout safely. As we firm up on acceleration, we should be able to get past this other vehicle in lane 1. I do ultimately want to be turning left some distance ahead, so once I'm safely past that vehicle, cruising at 50, mirror, near side mirror, and returning safely to the near side lane. Come up here again, there's an advanced direction sign indicating another roundabout ahead. I intend to go straight ahead at that roundabout. I'm going to remain in the near side lane for this roundabout, even though there's less traffic in the right hand lane, because I intend to be turning left a very short distance after that. As we come up here, I can see traffic approaching from the right, I can see traffic slowing in front. The vehicle behind is pulling out into the right hand lane, which is not causing me any problem. I'm starting to adjust my speed. The speed's coming down. We're looking for a gap in the traffic. We're just going to have to wait till the traffic in front clears. Coming to a halt, a safe distance behind. There's one vehicle coming up to pull up behind us. Vehicles trafficating right, crossing our path, and we're just waiting now. It looks like the gap will be after the red Audi. There's still no need for a signal, there's no requirement for the horn warning, and we're firming up on acceleration, bringing it through, keeping an eye on these vehicles to the left, mirror, near side mirror, and a breakaway signal for the benefit of these vehicles to the left, keeping an eye on this guy on my right, covering the horn, but in fact he is staying in lane 2 where he had chosen to be. I intend to turn left at this roundabout, mirror, near side mirror, I'm on course, checking all 3 mirrors and trafficating left for the benefit of the vehicle behind. Starting to bring the speed down, we're looking for the gap in the traffic to the right. There is traffic coming round the roundabout, they appear to be going off before us, the gap's there, speed's right, the gear's right, no need for the further signal, and we were trafficating left anyway to leave the roundabout. Trafficator had self-cancelled as we came out of the bend there, and as we come down here it's a 40 mph speed restricted road, still a dual carriageway. The road surface is reasonably good, although it does have repair patches in place. There's another roundabout at which I intend to go straight ahead. There's less traffic in the right hand lane, but in fact I've got a vehicle fairly close to the right, so I'm not going to pull out into that lane. I can make the manoeuvre just as well in the left hand lane. There's traffic crossing from right to left going round the roundabout. We're going to just have to wait for the gap in the traffic here. We're just coming to a halt in keeping with the other traffic and waiting our turn as we approach the road. HGV coming round the roundabout, he's going off the exit before us. As we come round here, there's quite a lot of traffic coming round this roundabout. There's also traffic waiting to join at the next entrance. The gap seems to be there now, we're just keeping an eye on that, making sure the vehicle in front has in fact moved fully off before we move off behind. Mirror, near side mirror, breakaway signal for the benefit of the traffic waiting on the left and the traffic waiting to join at the next entrance. As we come down here now, the road's opening out. It's still 40 mph speed restriction, I think. I'm just trying to confirm that, looking for a confirmation sign. The bit further back was certainly 40, but this part may or may not be different. There's a speed limit confirmatory sign on the left down here, and we'll confirm exactly what that is. In fact, it's 50. We're checking the mirrors. We are being followed some distance ahead, but in fact the other traffic in front isn't going much more than that. We're now gradually building our speed up towards 50. We're catching up with the vehicles in front, so I don't want to put any more speed on. I do intend to turn right at the next roundabout, so I'm checking my mirror. But offside mirror, there's a vehicle about 300 yards behind, but he's not affecting me and won't benefit from any signal that I've moved out, since he's just going to have to be following the traffic in front anyway. As we come down to this roundabout, I intend to turn right. I'm checking my mirror, I'm checking my offside mirror. I'm starting to trafficate right now for the benefit of the traffic behind, and we're allowing the speed to come down by acceleration signs. The traffic lights are in fact just changing. We'll wait and see if the traffic just moves us slowly enough and smoothly enough to allow us just to follow them on round the roundabout. The lights seem to be remaining green. We are prepared to stop should the lights change at the last moment. They do in fact seem to be all right. We're going through this one, it was too late of a change, and as we come round here, traffic lights are on green. Again, we're anticipating a change. We're checking the mirror. We're not being closely followed at this time. Brakes coming on ahead, and there's a warning information sign indicating that the lane on the left is in fact closing and merging into our lane, so we're remaining in the right hand lane at this time. Another warning sign indicating traffic lights ahead. It appears to be a pedestrian crossing. The lane on the left has disappeared, there's nothing else there anyway, and the opening on the left is there. It was a pedestrian waiting to cross just before the crossing, and as we come round here, the road's disappearing downhill and under an overhead bridge. We come round here now, we're checking into the left. There's no entrances associated with those premises, so they must all have been off that entrance road just before. The speed limit here is still 50 mph. We're following on a steady pace behind the traffic in front. There's a Reliance van in the queue ahead of us and a few other slower moving vehicles beyond that speed of the whole queue of traffic, currently approximately 40 miles per hour. We are being followed, there's some traffic now behind us, and we're joining a dual carriageway. We're merging into a lane from the left. There's a double line system in the centre of the road with the solid line nearest us to prevent people from pulling straight into the outside lane too early. The speed has in fact built back up to 50 miles per hour. We're now coming up to a 60 limit and there is traffic about to overtake, so I'm checking my mirror, my offside mirror, and we're just holding the speed to about 55 miles per hour and keeping with the traffic in front for the time being. In fact, the whole queue of traffic is now building up. We're now doing about 58 miles per hour. There's little advantage in pulling out for an overtake for the sake of 2 miles an hour. There are other vehicles which are choosing to go faster than that. That's up to them. I'm not. The vehicle in front pulling out for an overtake, and we're catching up slowly with these other vehicles which do in fact seem to be going a little less now. We'll wait till the next vehicle has completed his overtake. I'm checking mirror, offside mirror, and I can move out early into the outside lane. Brake lights coming on ahead now. We're just keeping a safe distance from these vehicles in front. There seems to be one fairly slow vehicle in the right hand lane. I'm having to come onto the brakes as well now just to maintain a safe distance from these vehicles. Car that pulled out to overtake and then slowed down in the outside lane for reasons best known to himself. As we come up here now, we're climbing a hill up a long straight. There's an exit ahead indicated by the sign for the South Lanarkshire Crematorium on the left. There's an overhead bridge. We're just keeping an eye on the bridge. There's no one on the bridge about to drop anything off it to cause us any problems. And we've now got a view extending further ahead. In the far distance we can see the horizon. In the middle distance we can see the town of Hamilton. In the nearer foreground we can see the dual carriageway extending downhill and bending off to the left further ahead. As we come down here, there's an opening on the left and there's another slip road coming on. We're just checking out that slip road. There doesn't appear to be anything coming up it, and once we're past the truck on the left, it's mirror, near side mirror, and returning safely to the near side lane. Coming down here, there's traffic well to the rear now. We've left following traffic some distance behind. There's no traffic in our lane other than the truck I just overtook, and other traffic had turned off to the left behind us, and there's a road junction appearing on the left. I intend to turn left, so I'm checking my mirror, my near side mirror, starting to adjust my speed. There's no requirement for a signal because I'll be gone by the time the truck catches up this far. Checking all three mirrors, there's still no need for a signal, there's no need for the horn warning, and we bring it through nice and smoothly. I intend to turn right at the bottom of this road, so we're just on the brakes, bringing the speed down. The truck's not coming down this way, so there's no requirement for a signal. There's very little visibility at the bottom of the road. There's a car now appeared behind, so we're trafficating out of sequence for his benefit. Bringing the speed right down, we're looking for the gap in the traffic. There's a vehicle coming round the roundabout. We've come to a complete halt. There's no need for a further signal, there's no need for a horn warning, and we'll bring it through nice and smoothly. As we come round this roundabout now, the road surface is quite wet, so we're having regard to the surface conditions and the speed that we're travelling at. Coming round here, we're coming to the exit we want. We're mirror, near side mirror, and we're giving a breakaway signal for the benefit of the vehicle behind and the vehicle joining on our left. Coming round here now, it's a small dual carriageway, 30 mile per hour speed restriction. There's premises on the left. We're keeping into the one lane of the dual carriageway, which is designated by the road surface markings. There's a pedestrian on the left, various parked vehicles further ahead, and there's a mini roundabout ahead as well. I intend to go straight ahead at that mini roundabout, and we're following the lane markings on the road. Checking the mirrors, vehicles behind are slowing down. We're looking for the gap in the traffic. The gap's there, the speed's right, the gear's right. There's no requirement for a signal, no requirement for a horn warning. Bring it through. We're checking the mirrors, and we're coming to a halt in compliance with the red traffic signal just beyond the junction on the left, which is checked and clear. Watching this pedestrian on the left, he does look as if he's about to cross the road, but in fact he's settled on the pavement and we're safely past him now. HGV coming through the traffic lights in the opposite direction. We're just coming to a halt, applying the parking brake and waiting for the traffic lights to change. A number of vehicles have stopped safely behind us as well. Again, checking the instruments, the temperature's normal, oil pressure's normal, no warning lights save for the handbrake light which is on at the present time, and sufficient fuel to continue our journey. As we come along here now, we're just waiting for the gap in the traffic. There are workmen working in the roadworks on the right hand side of the road. There's a single lane of traffic past them in either direction, being given turns by the traffic light control signals ahead of us. Looking to the rear, the one vehicle behind is stopped fairly close behind but is stationary and not presenting any distance. There's several other vehicles stopped behind us as well, and we're not anticipating being shunted from the rear, since it would be unlikely anything would go fast enough to shunt 5 or 6 vehicles forward at one time. The traffic lights have changed, checking all 3 mirrors, looking particularly for any cyclists or motorcyclists who might try to jump the gun and pass the queue before the lights. It's all clear to proceed. Keeping an eye on these guys working to the right here. We've got a van stopped on the left, road width restriction on the left immediately as well. Keeping an eye on that van. There's no sign of feet under the van. Once we're safely past the van mirror, near side mirror, and we can firm up on the acceleration, bringing it back up to 30 miles per hour. As we come along here, there's a pedestrian crossing. The pedestrian lights are at green, but nevertheless we're still looking for the possibility of any pedestrians who might try to run across the road in front, for which we would have to stop anyway. There's a standard pedestrian crossing with Belisha beacons just ahead here. We're checking the mirror, the near side mirror, of course towards the better part of the near side. We're checking all 3 mirrors. We're trafficating left for the benefit of the traffic approaching the other side of the roundabout. There's no need for a further signal, there's no need for the horn warning, and we bring it through nice and smoothly. Watching these traffic parked on the left hand side of the road, and I intend to come down here to these red traffic lights, again stopping in compliance with the red traffic signal. Vehicles coming gently to a halt, the lights are still red, just feathering the brakes to a halt, applying the parking brake.